So today we're going to look at how to add your students in the new setup with Pearson SuccessNet. Now it's not so different from previous years, though it may seem that way at first. So what you need to do is come up here to Classes. Obviously after you've logged in, you can see I've logged in and have my resources set up and ready here, have my classes down here. I've named it Demonstration, but I have no students. So I'm going to come to Classes. Then it gives me my class right here. Demonstration is the class I'm messing with. I don't want to deal with assignments, reports, notices. I want to deal with my roster. So I click on View. And at this point, you can see I've added a couple of students as examples. However, I want to show you guys how to add actual students from the recent upload. So what happened was the technology department took the entire SIS roster and uploaded it for the applicable schools. And so what you're able to do is actually choose your students from the school roster, and it already has their username and password in place. It's consistent with Google Drive, consistent with logging into a computer within the district, and so it'll be consistent with logging into Pearson SuccessNet as well if you do this properly. So the way you do this is not add a student. That's where you're going to create your own student. What you want to do is actually go select from school roster. Okay, once you do that, you can type in a student's name. Now I'm going to find an actual student from last year. And so I'm going to go with Cole. And let's say I don't know what grade she's in. Well, I'm just going to leave that as all grades, and it's going to refer to my school location, in this case Eagle Glen Intermediate, and it's only going to pull from those students who are enrolled in that school. All right, so I click search. Now here's the reason I chose Olivia. Olivia was my student last year, and I had to create her account, as I did with all of my students, and it was using her actual email address from last year. And you can see that's 5th grade. So there's an indicator that this is an old account and I don't want to use this. Also an indicator is, look, the student ID is missing. Excuse me. So I want to take that check mark off. That's an example of a student you do not want to enroll. This right here, the student ID, is probably the biggest sign that you want to look for. Also, if you notice down here, this is the new style username that's being used across all of the different applications we use here in RAPEC. So this one is the example of the correct student account. We're working on getting rid of the old accounts, but that's still a work in progress, so I do apologize for that mess. However, this is the way to look for it. You see the new style where it has first name dot last name with a number series right afterwards. You want to know the correct grade. And then also seeing the student ID right there, that's the best indicator that this is the correct student account to use. So I click Save, and sure enough, there's Olivia Cole. She's in my class at this time. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove her because she's not actually a student that I'm going to be using. And so there we go. That's all there is to it. At that point, all you would do is continue that process until you've added all of your students. Hey, if you get to anyone that's not there and they should be, just email me, jason.waltz@rapec.org, and we'll get that taken care of just as soon as possible. Thanks, and happy computing.